Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today we'll be discussing the subject of Sun in the fourth house for Aries Ascendant. So, being the fifth lord, it governs the factors, significations of progeny, it governs the significations of Pura Punya Sthana, then it is also for knowledge, that is after the theory. So here the fourth house represents Sukhasthana, mother. Sukha means enjoyment and comfort. Most of the time it will be comfort. So mother, that is Matrusthana, Vahanasthana for vehicles and also for qualification. So when education is seen, Sun is a very bright planet, so it gives very good education. So it gives more of a technical kind of an education, like engineering into subjects of power, solar energy, factories, heat generated places where heat is generated, friction is there. Mostly more than friction, which is actually associated with Mars. It is more of kind of a heat. So factories, let us say manufacturing units, so people would want to study in those places. It's also, Sun is also Dhanavantari, it is also the Adhipati, that is the Lord for Ayurveda. So person can also become a doctor in Ayurveda. Person can become a surgeon in orthopedic because Sun represents the bones. So there are many things. So Sun also represents cardiac, the heart. So people can study all these technical subjects. It's highly technical. They can also take up agriculture because Sun represents agriculture. That is the major planet for agriculture. Metals, so they can also take up subjects of dhatu, that is minerals and metals. Mining and deep mining, all this can be taken up. So they can also own a farm and live there because they like those conditions where they can do their own job, do it yourself kind of an attitude. So Sun in the fourth house is good for education, though it might create a lot of hurdles because it is the 12th from the 5th house. They might not have good cordial relationships in the family because that is the 12th, it falls in the 12th from the 5th house, and the 5th house gives good relation with the family. You should see the 3rd house and the 5th house for good communication. So now that Sun is in between the 3rd and the 5th, there is a little bit of resistance. So we call these people as a little reserved. So not that cordial. Mother is associated with the 4th house, and when Sun is there in the 4th house, it might give problems of the hypertension, that is BP, what we call as high blood pressure, to the native's mother, because it is sitting over the Nakshatras. It's particularly for Aries Lagna, it is sitting in the Karakatwas Rashi, that is the Cancer sign, and it is sitting over the 9 padas, that is, one is Punarvasu 4, Pushya 1, 2, 3, 4, Ashlesha 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 9 Nakshatra padas, 9 Nakshatra Amshas. So in the Pushya Nakshatra, it doesn't fare good because it is Saturn's Nakshatra. Jupiter's Nakshatra, Punarvasu 4 is good, and Mercury's 1, 2, 3, 4 of Ashlesha is good. So it will give technical related subjects in their study format. So this is a good placement for buying lands, buying houses, buying property. So in the Sun Dasha, the native might get into good property building spree. That is because Sun is the Yoga Karaka for the for Ascendant related to Aries. So being a fiery planet, very hot planet it is, in a watery sign, it makes it very uncomfortable. So, Sun in its own Dasha Bhukti might give difficult results, but because of its placement in its Antardashas and Pratyantar Dashas, Sun will give good results. So the native will be very, uncomfortable in the dasha period of sun, and will not be that happy, will be dissatisfied. Hypertension might also come into the native's life. Okay, so here when we consider the Vahana Yoga, Vahana Sthana, because the fourth house is for vehicles, sun being a very bright and extraordinary planet, it represents all those vehicles which give out heat. So it also represents all those vehicles which give out very loud sound. So like agricultural implements like tractors, huge trucks. So sun is a it doesn't directly show vehicles of normal kind in nature. Either you go in for these types of vehicles or go for the vehicles like king's chariots, big cars, huge luxury vehicles. So that's what sun represents. It doesn't represent the mediocre middle class kind of a thing. So it's a king. If it is posited in the Pushya Nakshatra, it's a little weak placement. So it might give you vehicles which might make more sound for agriculture. These are implements where actually you use tools to dig. So this is how sun actually transforms itself and gives its results in the fourth house for the Aries Lagna. I have left out one thing, that is for the progeny. When sun is in the 12th from the 5th, it becomes a difficulty for the native. It becomes difficult for the native to have progeny in that particular dasha. That is the difficulty. That the problem is that sun has 6 years of Mahadasha, and if it is this correct period for the native that he or she has got married in the last part of the Shukra Dasha, Ketu Bhukti, then 6 years shows that there is going to be some hurdle which is because of the sun, which is sitting in the fourth house, which is giving some difficulty for having normal progeny. So, sun also in the fourth house gives a shift in place of stay. That is also because it is related to a watery sign and a Chara Rashi. So, sun is a fast moving planet itself, sitting in a Chara Rashi like, movable Rashi like Cancer, and in a watery sign can keep giving lot of residential changes, transfers, change of residence from one place to another place. So that's like that. So thank you very much for today's class.